I want to prevent that from over-pressurizing, so... Oh, yeah. This will start liquefying eventually, but... Are you ready? You are all ready, okay. That did not take long for that to get 60 moles of CO2. Wow. Kind of impressed. Now, unfortunately, that is very hot 60 moles of CO2. 689. We're not introducing that into our house. That would be bad. So, instead, I need to do this. And promptly equip that. That is going to drop in temperature shockingly fast. Because this is a vacuum. I want that down to like, I don't know, 20, 50. Drop the pressure in there quite a lot, which is good. Eventually, this is all going to be automated and we're not going to have to worry about any of it. Which I'll be exceedingly pleased with. Okay, it's going to take a little while for it to get down enough, but we can also top it up a little bit more once the temperature is low enough. In fact, you know what? Dunk. We'll just keep topping it up with fresh CO2. And just babysitting it. I'm sorry to say this is going to be the order of business for a little bit. The babysitting. And also that means that you're going to have to put up with the very angry warning. Take care, Kayan. And Caloran finally was able to catch another stream. Been too long. 65 months of support says yes. It has been quite a while. How you doing, mate? I could top that up a little bit more. Make sure that's not getting too full. See, as it's bringing in the hot CO2, that's the pressure is rising quickly, but because we're currently radiating out that heat, the pressure is dropping. Very good. That is probably not going to be needed for a while, but I am not going to play around with that. I would rather have spend power on safety systems I don't need than try to conserve energy and need a safety system that isn't active. That is time for a tea break. Chat, you're going to have to remind me. As soon as I'm done babysitting this system, I need to go for a tea break. In terms of the Electrum, we've got plenty of temperature. I just need to pull down the pressure. And yeah, we will... By the time that I've done the Electrum, the salt is going to be easy to do. But I've had to disable that alarm because it went off too early. So you can... I trust you to remind me. Tea sounds nice, actually. I'm gonna make some too. That guy pilot living the best life, being able to make themselves some tea right now while I'm here babysitting a furnace. Rubbing it in my face. It's fine. This won't take me too long. Temperature's dropping nicely. We want it to be at least below 100 degrees before I vent that into the base. At least. we're storing a lot of nice and hot CO2 in there. How much did we want that down to for the Electrum? 2.4. Hell, we might even get there just from venting through the filter. I'm gonna just do this. Not an amazing pressure differential, but it's good enough. I don't imagine we're going to get much more out of that for a bit. Alright, that is dropping in temperature now quite slowly. So that means I have time. Yeah. Let's quickly go and get rid of this alarm. I don't have a potato ready? What's happening? Imagine living in a universe where you're hard at work on the moon. You go in for a snack and it's not even ready for you yet. Don't try put your helmet in the microwave, chap. It doesn't belong there. Is the potato on the floor? It was. Well, we've now got 2 potatoes. Actually, that's eventually going to pop. Yeah, that is not a right system. I need to fix that. I just realized there was a flaw in it. Bum. Okay, I can get another megapascal in here. How much has that brought the pressure in here down to? That's a decent amount. Okay. I think it's time for me to drop this pressure down to 2.2 megapascals. And now I need gold and silver for this one. Okay, not looking too bad. Still venting. We still going to be within temperature? Yeah, we should be just. That will now make some electrum. Now the final one for us is solder. Iron and lead in equal measure. (270) temperature. That'll be fine. And solder is made. Mischief managed. Managed well, if I do say so myself. And the CO2 in here, not terribly hot. anymore. Let's add a little bit more in. Get the most out of this we can. We've actually lost most of the CO2 that was in there, to be fair. Okay, that's all we need. Okay, time for that to pump everything back into this. And while that's going on, this back up to 30,000. So I'm not wasting it. Right. Almost where I want it. This is pumping back into the main system, bringing the temperature up ever so slightly. It's not really going to do too much, but I mean, the gas is in there at 605 degrees, so it's not going to do anything bad either. That's down to 50 degrees, which is good enough for me, I'd say. Right. At this point, nothing on this side of the system is going to change. So I can turn that off, and we're taking this with us. Okay, that was a pretty solid smelt, I would say. Eventually that one will completely empty out this canister. And then it's just going to be using up power, but I don't mind. This one is definitely not going to reach that, but again, I would rather have... I'd rather waste a little bit of power on a system that I don't need to be active than to lose and vent everything. I'm going to need pipes, and I'm going to need a pressure regulator. Sadly. Okay, cycle. We're going to get into base. I'm going to drop off all my gear. Right, what's the pressure in there? 4.98 megapascals. It's got some pollutants, it's fine. That is a one-way, so that's slowly adding dribbles of extra atmosphere into this. That is the problem. So, to fix that, I'm going to need a back pressure regulator right here. I'll hook it up to that wire. That shouldn't be a problem. Ooh, you're on the cusp there, aren't you? That will actually be a problem. Are you set to vent? You are not, so I'm just going to leave that there for now. Let's quickly do that. 0. Confirm. I will come back to that in a second. Actually, no. Let's do the oxygen first. So, helmet off. Down. Suit off. Remove the battery so it's no longer running the filters or the pump. There we are. Charge the battery. Charge my O2 tank. Pull some pressure out of this room. Good. Grab the O2 tank. Pop the O2 tank in there. Now change this to 0 pressure. Confirm. Let it start venting. Next, I want this tank in there. That's my waste tank. Now, right this moment, This has got a little too much potential to completely pop this pipe, or effectively eventually store all of the atmosphere from in here in there, which is not what I want. Zero kPa, good enough. Pop you there. All right, suit can go down on the ground. And let's have a quick look. This room is 3.27% CO2. It's about to be significantly more CO2. Plants are going to very happily slurp up all of that CO2 though. Plants are very happily slurping up that CO2. There we go, 17.5 moles. Is this game proof if an Irish space program because of the potatoes? I see. You know what? Sure, we'll go with that. Okay. All right, before I leave for my tea break, I want to protect this system. So for that, we want a back pressure. All right, just put the pressure regulator. My bad. A back pressure regulator. Set to currently that's 4.98 megapascals in there. You know what? The more pressure in there, the faster this can empty. So I'm okay with that to a certain degree. I'm going to say 6 megapascals in total. Cancel. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll say 5 megapascals. If the pressure in this tank should be above 5 megapascals, then I want it to vent back into the main system. The way we will achieve that is by doing this. Right now, this will not be adding any more pressure in here because it's a one-way valve, but pressure matters. There's way more pressure in here than there is out here. So there's no real way for this humble passive vent to push through the pressure differential here. The pressure in this part of the pipe system is blocking pressure, is blocking any new gases moving in because it literally can't force its way in. The other thing we want is that. And eventually, I will finish this. That needs to be turned on at all times. But what I'm going to want is another 2 of those. Don't really need 2, I suppose, but it's what we're going to get. I'm gonna run this cabling all the way through there. Connect up here. Right, that won't work until these 2 pipes are connected. I could just use regular pipes because honestly adding that much extra pressure potential is silly. But being 1 pipe shy is really irritating. We'll just do that. Remind me when I get back, chat, that I need 1 more pipe in there. In terms of the gases in our base, it's a little bit over pressure, but nothing too terrifying. We've got plenty of CO2. 5% of the air in here is CO2. That is so bad, by the way. That is really, really bad. We would be having headaches right now from that CO2. like a nasty headaches. We would be finding it hard to concentrate. Some people of a weaker constitution would potentially even be verging on seizures. This, if it isn't already, like, I can't remember exactly where it's like, yeah, no, this is danger to life territory. If this isn't danger to life territory, we're not far off it. But, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. You want it to be less than 1%. Like, ideally, you want it to be less than 0.5% parts per million. But, you know, it is what we've got. Right, so. Right now, temperature in here is returning back to its regular, despite having put in, you know, like 70, 80 degree CO2, though there wasn't enough to really warm a room this large. I'm going to go on tea break. When we return, I'm going to print one more pipe, finish this system so that this will never have the potential of, you know, bursting. And we are then going to go and use the wonderful alloys that we just made to upgrade all of the printers. And maybe even make a couple of cool things besides for us, like some enhanced tools. Following that, though, starting to lay out the room for the atmospherics chamber. So, hopefully, interesting stuff ahead. Let's go ahead and put my quotates back up here. There we go. Right. Back in a few, chat. Enjoy the sunset, eventually, possibly. There we are. What was the key? There is a key for turning off the camera. I forget what it is. Is F1? Oh. Is it? What is the key for removing HUD? I don't know what I just pressed. I just pressed Y, but that did something. Probably something to do with my jump jet. Oh, that was my hover mode. But we need to save the cave anyway, so let's go ahead and just drop a save game there. But there should be... Let me have a look. There should be something for the camera. For removing the HUD. Oh, there we go. Enjoy, chat. Right, okay, we're back. We're drinking. Package has been received. And again, the the irony in that me having to take a longer tea break because I got a delivery and then getting back to my character being thirsty is not lost on me, considering the package that I got delivered, and thus the reason for me taking long to get back was a delivery of element, literal electrolytes to help with your thirst. Hello, Tilly. All right. Yeah, the shader mod is amazing. Absolutely. Let me. You'll get a better idea of it if I donk. Look at this. Look at this place. Even if I pull out tools, the battery charge on the bottom of the tool, because my drill is low on charge, so the bottom of the battery, which is sticking out the bottom, I mean, there, that glow was being reflected. I mean, you know, it's not a perfect mod in terms of, you know, everything it does, but what it does is really good. Really, really good. Are there any enemies in this game? You. Yeah. Yeah, you are your own worst nightmare. What's up, Tilly? Oh, she's curling around my legs. Alright. Do you want to know? We do. But there are not any enemies in a traditional sense, no. Like the actual real answer, not just joke answer. Though I'm not sure if there are plans beyond just the survival in terms of the environment to add enemies, but there are in the game files. There are defined like world factions, and you can make weapons in this. So in multiplayer, you could have a PvP, though I am not really sure what that would look like right now, because there's not really been much effort put into that side of the game. But this is based, or rather inspired by, not based on, inspired by Space Station 13. So given that, there is quite a lot of room for there being aggressive factions giving you missions and the likes. Right. Let's head back out. I need one more pipe. Yes, as 90 Prof said. Enemies currently include air pressure in tanks and pipes. Also liquid in air pipes. Also, a lack of gas in your pipes. We want one pipe. I don't need to print it. I want to get that job done first before I do anything else, because I will forget otherwise. Oh, I left the door to my office open in my hurry to get back. Tilly's all curled up on my couch now and looking so comfy. She's wrapping her tail around her eyes and curling into a tiny little ball. Sheila, if you're not busy, that would actually be very much appreciated if you could just partially close it. Oh, there we go. So, with that done, this will never exceed 5 kPa, which is perfect. That allows the room to pressurize nice and quickly, or rather the airlock to pressurize nice and quickly. We can see gases being pushed back into the room. It is a little bit chilly, that's why I was saying just partially close the door. It's not all the way. Thank you. My computer will very quickly warm my office. Okay, so. Very cool contents in there. Only 89.8 degrees. I'm kind of surprised it's still losing. I guess it's because all of these pipes, if I'm perfectly honest, it's going to continually vent. I could insulate them. Can I print adhesive tape? Steel and silicon. I don't need much. How much do I need? Not much. 6 adhesive. Need a wrench to attach it. Okay, stop printing, just so I don't end up with too much, because it's kind of expensive stuff to make. But let's go ahead and pop down some insulation on these pipes. that one doesn't need it. I'll insulate these ones. That leaves me 1, 2, 3. 2. And the third being printed now. Yeah. So 1 and 2 and oh, it's per pipe. Ah, and there are technically multiple pipes there. I'm gonna need another 3, I should imagine, but we'll try it with 2. Just in case, because sometimes the way that pipes interact means you can actually save a little bit. Yeah, there we go, perfect. Right, that should stop the bleed a little bit. We're still radiating a tiny amount of energy out of that now. Probably not enough to care about. Alright, there we go. Lighting sunrise. There we go. Job's a good one. Right, let's have a quick look in here. Is it a relaxing survival? Depends. I find it quite relaxing. Federation says, the game is this. Also, hi, Federation. You're alone on a desolate planet. Good luck. There are no villages or random wanderers dropping by. You're alone. I mean, you can play it multiplayer, though, just to add that in. But yeah, it's quite cathartic. You're just overcoming difficulties. Right, I want mod. New. Then it'll be the electronics printer that makes them all. Mod. Steel, electrum, constantan, and solder. You've already got no steel. Helps if I throw them a little bit harder than that. And this constantan. Right. Let's go ahead and print you. Expensive thing to make. It looks like it's going to take a while. Gosh darn it. Anafix, thank you very much for the gifted sub to Federation there. That was incredibly kind of you. Without internet, I would go crazy fast. Fair. Federation says, compared to Minecraft, this is a bit more stressful in the beginning because you have to sort out breathing gas and food and warmth and cooling if you're on certain planets. But once that's sorted, it's pretty chill. From then on, it's just expanding your base, improving it. Yeah, there's a lot of iterative design improvements. But yeah, Federation did post some suggested settings for the mod. They're a little bit different to what I've got, but if you want a bit more of a softer effect, absolutely worth looking at. Right, currently doing okay. I think time for me to start laying out the frames. What frames do we have available? Iron frames steel frames. So I'm going to pop those in there. Well, that's losing temperature extremely slowly, but faster than that one is. I think I'll leave it. I shouldn't have to worry about too much about it. I guess I could pump everything down there, but there's quite a lot of CO2 just there waiting for me. Right. So we've got steel frames. I'm going to want iron frames for the surface around the outside. Steel sheets. And do I have iron sheets? I do. Don't need plastic sheets. 88% done. Now, this is going to be another wall inside. This is going to be a boundary. So steel down here. I could make it symmetrical. Sure. Which means I want iron around here. That's going to be a wall. That's going to be a floor. This will probably also be a floor. Would I want a 3-wide room? Uncertain whether that would be something I would want. But I will want the flooring in the room to be made of steel plates rather than anything else. You need to move. Be gone! We're probably going to have to make some more fuel as well. That's another thing I want in the atmospherics area is a mixer for fuel. Okay, yeah, it's losing 0.1 of a degree every now and then. Nothing too crazy. Right, I want a screwdriver to upgrade this. And boom, there we go. Gorgeous. Let's boot it up. Mod. I need more steel. And to be fair, I did need a lot more of that. Okay. Well. Do we have much in the way of iron anyway? Yeah, we do. Sixteen grams of iron in there. Nothing in there, really. Oh. 188 grams of iron in here, though. Are you going to unload from the bottom? Ugh, okay, fine. Of course you are. Right. I want this to not run away, first and foremost. I want this set to 50. I guess 150 is fine, because that's how much I'm going to be putting in there. Now eject it. That is the remainder. This will get me my steel. 200 grams of it. Which will be enough to finish the other 3 mods. So we're going to have to go out for a big mining run. And coal, well, not really coal actually. We've got enough there to run for a little bit. But, okay, that's set up correctly. Greetings, Marazin. In terms of Space Engineers 2, there are parallels to draw between the 2 games, but they are not alike in the way you play them. Did you guys see the news that there's a new solar storm weather event coming to Stationeers? They're also adding new harm suits for extreme conditions. Yeah, I'm playing on beta. We learned about the solar storms before some of the devs did that they were in. Like, they obviously knew they were coming, but like we had a dev drop in chat and I was chattering about the solar storms and they were like, oh, they've already been pushed into beta? Oh, that's kind of cool. So yeah, well, no, we we found out about it pretty much as early as people could find out about it. Oh, those are the wrong types. Oh, that's why they look wrong. I was wondering. Now I know. There we go. Up. Right. We require... Yeah, just switch over to the mining backpack, really. Right. We've still got plenty of... there is NOS in there, but it's in liquid form, so I don't believe it will combust. So instead, we're going to need to... let's just split it off 2. We'll see. No, it won't combust. There isn't enough O2 in there to trigger... Oh, no, wait. No, the tiny amount of O2 that was there was enough. It's going to be so slow because what's happened... Yeah, there we go. Bump. Oh, we lost so much of the NOS though earlier. It kind of sucks. That was glorious to have that big wallop of nitrous oxide in there for us to run with. But that was just trickle feeding heat and boiling the NOS. There we go, getting a nice temperature in there now. How much do we need for steel? Need 627 C or 900 Kelvin. We need a tiny bit more heat. Tilly is looking very interested. There we go. That's enough for what we need. Since that's already been off-gassed, shouldn't cause no. We're going to need a little bit more O2 in there now. It was just enough to pull down the temperature. What are you up to, Tilly? You just came in. You shouldn't need the litter tray. That's, I guess, why I've got one in my office, just in case she does. Sometimes I think she wants to check that it's still there, just in case. Yeah, we're going to need one extra of these as well. I've not been... Like, you can very easily just add the correct ratio for fuel in one go and be fine. But I've recently started trying to manage how much fuel I use based on the oxides and volatiles that are already in the system. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned as well. Where did she go? Oh, actually, she's just kind of wandered over to the litter tray and is just cleaning herself over there. But I am getting a little concerned that the cystitis might be back. And she doesn't tend to like the litter tray. But that being said, it is getting wet and cold outside. So maybe it's just that she doesn't want to deal with that, which I could completely appreciate. It's bedtime for me. Good night, all. Take care, 3 ferrets in a trench coat. You have a good time, mate. Madison asked, how do the solar storms manifest? Like RimWorld solar flare? No. Basically, the sun just gets really angry. Effectively, we'll get a warning with the weather station. It will tell us that a storm is on the way. And if we could read that, I could see exactly how long it was going to be here for. That kind of stuff. But I want an autolathe. Let's get one of those made. But when the storm arrives, it's going to pump much more energy into any environment, any atmosphere. So you're going to need more robust cooling solutions because there's going to be a lot more heat generated inside anything with an atmosphere, and that includes your suit, which is kind of a problem. Additionally, it will result in your solar panels being far more powerful than you're used to them being. I am tempted. Okay, so this is going to be the wall over here, but that means that maybe along here I'm going to have some docks. I'm going to want one for the scrubber. This is probably going to be double wide because I can put an oven in there then. I might keep that as it is. I don't know. I might even move that along. We'll probably be moving the atmospherics out of here. And the air in here will be maintained via a more complicated bit of automation. We'll definitely be moving that out of here, as well as the ice crusher. So we'll actually have enough room to put a kitchen setup over there if I want to. So I don't need to worry about it too much. Oh yeah, the when the storm hit, I wasn't aware it was coming the first time, and as a consequence, my solar panels. So I only had, I think it was like 3 at the time. So I really did not need a robust solution in terms of my wiring until I did. All right, we'll get this one upgraded. Then we'll work on the auto lathe. Sorry, the pipe bender. Then the tools. I guess it's, yeah, it's not It's based on alphabetical, so autolated comes a lot sooner. Pipeman to mod next. Dunk. Okay. Sheila, has Silly come up to you? Because I've lost her. She's either climbed under the desk or she's on one of the windowsills behind the curtain, if she hasn't come to you. You think you hear her. Okay, that's good. Federation said, yeah, panels generate 750 watts each on the moon. And during the solar storm, they generate 3 kilowatts each. Suddenly, regular wire is very not enough. Yep. Three solar panels pulling 9 kilowatts when the wire is only stated for 5 kilowatts. Not so great. How long are you going to take? 71. I'll get that one upgraded, then I will pop over. I'll start this one going, then we'll go and grab a drink. Gonna need a bit of iron though, so makes sense to head out for a bit of a mine. And we'll be able to do a decent bit of mining, given it's midday. She-Lab is on the desk or behind the curtains? Sure, yeah. Don't you know that when I stream, She-Lab sits on the edge of the desk like a gargoyle, ready to devour evil spirits and evil chatters alike. True facts. One other potato. Helps if I do that after I've closed all of those. Yep. Helmet off. Quickly take a drink. And helmet back on. Right, did we have anything I need to worry about? No, not really. Plenty of CO2 for my plants. What's the suit battery situation? We're good. We're fine. Let's head back out. Off we go.